If you're saving for retirement, you've probably thought to yourself, how much do I really need to retire? As a financial advisor, this is probably the number one question that I get, along with, is $1 million enough? What number should I be shooting for? And now, a new study shows that that number has gone up by 20% since 2021. So what is that number, and how accurate is this study? Hey everybody, I'm Jonathan Rankin, and my firm and I have been helping clients plan and execute their retirement plan by focusing on 3 key areas of retirement: maximizing retirement income, optimizing their investments, and reducing taxes. So if you're thinking about retiring or you're already retired, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our retirement videos or episodes of our retirement podcast called The Retire Once Show. All right, so what is that magic number? Well, according to Northwestern Mutual's 2022 Planning and Progress Study, people now believe they will need $1.25 million to retire comfortably. That's right, $1,250,000 to retire comfortably. That's a 20% increase from where it was last year. With account values dropping because of the market and inflation pushing that magic number higher, most people are actually planning on delaying their retirement to age 64, where before they were planning on retiring at 62 and a half. Now, it was interesting that the study found that those who were working with a financial advisor or those who were disciplined planners on their own actually believe they can retire earlier than everybody else. Those 2 subgroups reported that they believe they can retire at age 61 for those working with an advisor, or age 62 for those who were disciplined retirement planners on their own. So where did this $1.25 million number come from? Now, they really don't go into detail on how people landed on this number, and I'm just going to take a stab at it. My guess is that people are basing it off that old 4% rule, and this gives them a nice round number of $50,000 per year. Now, with asset prices where they are today, most people are questioning whether or not that rule should still be followed. In fact, we address this in our retirement podcast, and I will link to that episode right up here. So let's take a look at what kind of retirement you can expect if you have $1,250,000. Let's take a look at our sample client. This is John Sample, turning 64 in January and going to be retiring at the same time. Right now, he currently makes $90,000 and wants to maintain that lifestyle. So we're going to take out his current 401k contributions and taxes and assume that he's living off of $68,000 a year of net income. We're also going to assume that John is going to take his Social Security at full retirement age. I know we can go on and debate when he should take it, when he should not. Let's just make it simple. In this case, full retirement age. As you can see in this scenario, John has a 97% probability of success. The assets will last at least until age 90, and even then, he'll have over $1 million left over. The issue is that right now, we are facing a lot of uncertainty in the economy and the markets, and this plan is modeling a 5% rate of return. One thing that we always recommend at our firm is that you stress test your retirement plan. So for John, we're going to look at what happens if he experiences a 20% loss in his portfolio next year, the same year he plans on retiring. If that happens, John's probability of success drops down to 57%, and the assets last until age 89. Now, when people see a probability of success at 57%, they automatically think that there's a 43% chance of retirement failure. However, that's not the case. What this means is that there's a 43% chance that you're going to have to make some modifications to your retirement lifestyle at some point. So whether that means you're going to have to adjust your spending or maybe pick up a part-time job to earn a little income, this does not mean that you're going to be destitute. In this example, someone who is retiring with $1.25 million and the only other income is Social Security, that would provide a lifestyle of anywhere between $64,000 and $72,000 after taxes. And that depends on how confident you'd like to be in your retirement plan. $64,000 is around that 100% probability of success, and that $72,000 gets you around 90% probability of success. But is that enough to cover your lifestyle? Arbitrary numbers like these are a good starting point, but there are really 3 key numbers that you're going to want to identify for your retirement. The first number that you want to know is, what are your expenses? This number is unique to you, and that's the important part. You want to know exactly what you plan on spending money on. Everything from your ongoing monthly bills to maintain your lifestyle to any expectations you have for travel or things that you want to do for fun. Now, some people will suggest using a general rule of thumb like an income replacement ratio. Now, this is a general way of saying that if you make $100,000 today, you can expect to spend 80% of that in retirement. The problem with that method is the same problem as saying $1.25 million is good enough for everyone to retire. Problem is, it's not unique to you. Like if you're sick, you're not going to go to a doctor that just prescribes you the same medicine and dosage that he does everybody else that walks in the door. You're going to want him to run some tests, you're going to want him to draw some blood, make sure that they understand you specifically, do that diagnosis. I mean, I wouldn't even go to a mechanic if they just looked at my car and said, you need an oil change. No, I want them to get under the hood, see what's going on. That's the same type of thing that you want, not just for your health and your car, but specifically your retirement. Now, we recommend that you actually spend the time and you go through your monthly spending to see what you are truly spending money on. I know, it's not fun. It does take some time, take some effort, but you know what? Instead of binging that next show on Netflix, spend the hour, go through your spending so you have a clear idea of what you spend money on. It's not going to take that long to go through it, but it's an exercise that you definitely want to go through. Now, the next number that you're going to want to know is what income sources will you have in retirement? In our example, John only had Social Security. However, there are plenty of people out there that still have a pension. And now if you add that into the equation, it changes everything. And that $1.25 million can actually go a lot further. So whether it's Social Security, a pension, rental income, you want to know what incomes you have coming to you in retirement. So when you know these two numbers, you know your expenses, you know the income streams you got coming to you, this is going to give us the third number that we're looking for. And that is, how much does your portfolio and savings need to make up? So let's assume that your expenses are $6,000 a month and you're expecting $2,000 a month from Social Security and $1,000 a month from a pension. Now we know that your portfolio has to make up the additional $3,000 plus an inflation factor. So every year, you're likely taking about $36,000 from your savings, and over time, that number is going to go higher because while Social Security has a cost of living adjustment, most pensions do not. So now we can start backing into that magic number that you need. Now you can look at that general rule of thumb, that 4% rule, and what that means is that in order to generate $36,000 a year income, you're going to need a portfolio of $900,000 at 4% to give you that $36,000. Now, there have been a lot of recent discussions whether or not that 4% rule is still valid, and that's why we recommend putting in the work yourself or working with an advisor to see what you need specifically to retire. And as the study showed, people who are disciplined planners or people who worked with an advisor expected to retire earlier. That is because they had a clear picture of what they needed. Now, it's easy to start the process with our firm to see exactly how much you need for retirement, because we believe everybody should have access to comprehensive financial planning, which is why we offer free retirement assessments. You could use the link below to schedule some time to get started. I know I mentioned the 4% rule a few times and whether or not that rule is still applicable today. So make sure you check out the episode of our Retire Once show, which is our retirement podcast, where we go in depth on this general rule of thumb. No matter where you are in your retirement journey, it is important that you have a clear picture of your financial goals. Now, if you found this video useful, please click the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I'm Jonathan Rankin. Till next time.